Okay, this morning we're going to do a math assignment, and it is going to be a performance task. It's sheep and ducks. So I'm going to have you work on this by yourself. And what I'm going to do is there's places up at the top for you to write your answers to some different questions, but then it tells you show how you know your answer is correct. And there's these little boxes. Use pictures, words, and numbers. So what I'm going to ask you to do in all this space down at the bottom is to show how you would solve these different questions using pictures and using words and using numbers. So you have to show your work all the three different ways. And as you show using those three different ways, you can put a little check in the checkbox, which is then a reminder to yourself to make sure that you are showing work all those different ways. On the back, there are two more problems. Again, there are spaces for you to show your work, and it asks you to show using pictures and numbers, and there are places for you to check off that you've done those different things. If you need extra space, please go get a large piece of scratch paper and staple it on and use that to show your work as well. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you complete the paper, and then I'm going to have you get your iPad, and I'm going to have you go into Dropbox and check your work using a math progression. So similar to a writing progression that we've used before to check our writing, there is a math progression. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. Alex, I'd like you to be crisscross applesauce. Okay. Okay, so if you go into Dropbox, right over here there's something that says performance task. Right now you're only seeing the performance. It says it's called performance task progression, and it will show you a progression of work. So starting out, you have some correct that you work, and then moving down from there, you would show your work one way, like maybe just with pictures, and the answer's wrong. And then moving on from there, you show your work one way and you get the answer correct. And then moving on, maybe you show your work two ways. You have a picture and you use numbers. And it keeps moving all the way down, showing you different samples till we get to what I'm really looking for you to do, which is to show your work all three ways with a picture and with a number equation and with words, and have your work all be correct. So after you have completed the paper, I would like you to get the iPad and compare what you've done with the writing progression, with the math progression. This is a math problem, so you're not going to be making pictures that look like ice cream cones. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing your paper to this progression and looking and saying, did I really show all three ways? Do I have three ways of showing my work? Do I think I have the answers correct? And you're going to do something else a little different. You are going to put only your number on the line where it says name. And then I'm going to ask you to take that and give that paper to Mrs. Iyer. What we're going to do a little bit later is we're going to have you look at someone else's work and talk about someone else's work with a partner, and have an opportunity to see how some of your classmates solve that work and compare their work to a math progression. And then you'll get your own work back, and what we're going to do is we're going to see if you look at work and talk about math and you see math done by a classmate, how does that help you then look at your own math and maybe make some improvements to your own math? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, fantastic. So once you're finished with the math, the next thing that you're going to work on is finishing any of the sentences related to Beatrice's goat that you might need to do.